They called him Egg. Not because he liked eggs. Not because he liked breakfast. They called him Egg because of one stupid video. One moment. One rotten throw. 1,000 names after. If you ever felt small, this is for you. Breakfast was chaos. Voices bounced off the kitchen tiles. Laughter. Forks clinking. A boy sat at the table, head down. He pushed his plate away. Nobody reached for him. Egg! Someone shouted. Egg boy! The name ricocheted. It never stopped. It followed him down the street. It followed him through school doors. It followed him into his head. At school he kept his eyes low. He wore a jacket that was too big. He tried to be invisible. That never works with kids who hunt. Hunters find movement. They find fear. They find the soft places. Hey, Egg! The biggest kid said, close enough to breathe on him. Where you going, loser? The crowd laughed. The boy's face burned. He tasted salt. He tasted shame. This particular morning the boy decided not to run. He had rehearsed it all night. He would walk away. Be cool. Be nothing. He almost made it to the gate. Then the gate closed. Someone from the crowd blocked him. The laugh got louder. The biggest boy shoved his shoulder into him. The shove was small. The sting was huge. He wanted to strike back. He wanted to make the laughter stop with a punch. He wanted to make every camera forget the egg and remember the fight. But he had a promise in his pocket. A strange promise. He had met a man the week before. A man who taught him one new word. Control. The man's name was Mr. Haynes. He was not a coach. He did not wear a whistle. He had a quiet face and hands that had learned how to fix things. He taught in small rooms. He spoke in short sentences. Anger is a fire, he said. It eats from the inside. The boy listened. He wanted the fire to burn the ones who hurt him. Mr. Haynes told him no. What if I just hit him once? The boy had asked, voice shaking. Just one. He deserves it. Mr. Haynes looked down at him. He did not flinch. You may think you can win with your fists, he said. But anger is a trap. It makes you strong for a second. Then it leaves a scar you'll carry forever. The boy nodded. He agreed, but his hands still trembled. School days passed like slow storms. Each laugh was a raindrop. Each whisper cut like wind. And every time the boy could have fought, his palms stayed empty. He told himself he was learning. He told himself he was building something stronger. But inside, the anger was a drum. Kept time. One afternoon, the boys cornered him near the lockers. Cameras were out. Phones always were. The biggest boy leaned in, smirking. Thought you were gonna cry to your mom? He sneered. Oh right, you're an orphan. Now that's funny. The crowd erupted. The insult landed like a stone. The boy remembered Mr. Haynes' face. He imagined the man's steady hands, the way he tied shoelaces 2 at a time, the way he folded shirts without hurry. He imagined the man's voice. Control. He took a breath. He felt the heartbeat under his ribs. He felt the drum. The biggest boy pushed too far. He shoved the boy into lockers. The video went viral. 1,000 likes. 1,000 comments like knives. Egg boy, they wrote. The boy could not look up. He felt hollow. He wanted to break everything. Then something else happened. A voice from the crowd cut through the noise. Quiet. Clear. Stop. It was Mr. Haynes. He walked into the circle like he owned the space. Nobody shouted at him. Nobody moved. He had the look of someone who had seen tragedies and decided to be stubborn about peace. The biggest boy laughed at him. Old man, leave him, he said. Why you care? He tossed the boy's jacket on the ground like a joke. Mr. Haynes crouched and picked the jacket up. He handed it back to the boy with fingers that did not tremble. We are done, he said. Come with me. They walked away from the phones. Away from the laughter. Mr. Haynes did not tell a story. He offered a seat on a bench and a bottle of water. The boy sat. His knees were still shaking. Mr. Haynes folded his hands and said nothing for a long time. Why do they do it? The boy asked finally. Why does it hurt so much? Mr. Haynes' eyes went far away for a second. He told him a small thing. A secret that smelled like old regret. When I was young, Mr. Haynes began, my own anger ruined someone I loved. He kept his voice soft. I was reckless. I thought I could fix everything with my fists. I was wrong. My mother stepped between me and the moment. She saved a life. But I did it. I carried that night every day. He swallowed. I don't want you to carry that. The boy listened like the world had gotten smaller and only those words fit. He wanted to ask how to stop the drum. He wanted to ask if it would ever end. Mr. Haynes gave one rule. One glass-clear rule. You practice. We wait. When you are ready, not before. The boy said yes. He meant it, but his throat was a tight rope. The training started with 10 minutes a day. Then 15. Mr. Haynes never told him to fight. He taught him how to breathe. He taught him how to pivot his anger into something quieter. He taught him how to stand without shaking. He taught him how to count to 10 when the names came. He taught him how to hold his hands like they were made to hold books, not knives. Weeks passed. The boy learned to let a name settle and then float away. He learned to meet a shove with a breath. He learned to empty his pockets of hit and shame. It was small work. It did not make headlines. But he changed. Then came the day when the bully decided to push him again. The same corridor. The same laugh. This time the crowd filmed with an excitement that tasted like cruelty. He saw his old jacket. He remembered the egg. The world narrowed. The drum called. He felt a hand at his shoulder. Mr. Haynes' grip was light, patient. You are ready, the man said. The boy looked up, surprised. Could have been the biggest moment. Finally, the win. He could make them all stop. He could smash the biggest boy's face and erase every camera memory. The thought flamed. Fight him. A voice in his head urged. Make them shut up. He swallowed. He thought of every name. He imagined the weight lifting. He imagined every lunchroom chair silent and respectful. The drum grew louder. Mr. Haynes stared at him. If you step into that fight because you want to punish, he said, you've already lost. The boy's hands balled into fists without meaning to. The pulse in his neck throbbed. He was so close. Then what is the point? He asked. If I don't fight, they'll never stop. His words were a dry leaf. The biggest boy swaggered forward. He jutted his chin. You going to cry to your new teacher? Huh? You got no one. He shoved him hard. The shove was clean. The boy could have returned it. Everything in him wanted to move. Muscles remembered. They knew the old rhythm. In a single breath, he thought of Mr. Haynes' story. He thought of a life scarred by one night. He thought of his own hands and how they might feel years from now. He imagined regret like a lamp that never goes out. He imagined carrying that lamp alone. He let his breath out. He did not move. The crowd expected a punch. The phones whispered into the silence. The biggest boy waited for the strike. It did not come. For a heavy, awkward second, no one knew what to do. The bully's mouth opened and closed like a fish. His anger turned to confusion. He had no script for someone who would not hit him back. Then the boy did something else. He stepped aside. Not to run. Not to escape. To clear a path. He walked past the bully like the crowd did not exist. He kept his gaze steady. No flare of triumph. No answer. Just a quiet, calm walk. A few hands went to their pockets to stop filming. A few faces lowered. The bully tried to yank his jacket. The boy pulled it tight and kept walking. He left the corridor with his head held as straight as his shoulders could manage. No viral video that day. No trending hashtag. No immediate victory. The laughter did not die. The name still stung. But something had cracked. A small, powerful quiet had seeped into the room. Students who had cheered began to look away. Some of them met his eyes and felt a tiny prick of shame. Not everyone changed. But the moment did what moments do. It moved people. After school, a group of kids followed him. Not to hurt him. To ask. A boy named Marcus, who had laughed the loudest, walked up with his phone still in his hand. His face looked flat. Why didn't you fight? He asked, voice surprised and not cruel for once. The boy paused. He felt the old drum. Quiet now. He thought of Mr. Haynes, of the rule about readiness. of the story that was older than his pain. I wanted to, he said simply, but I remembered a man who told me I didn't have to make my heart heavy. I wanted to hold on to myself. Marcus blinked. He did not know what to say. He had never been given that choice. The boy kept walking. Marcus lowered his phone. Days became months. The name Egg still floated sometimes. Meaningless cruelty takes years to die. But the boy's life grew larger than that one label. He joined a club. He read books he had never tried. He practiced breathing when his chest wanted to explode. He learned math and how to sit in silence without shrinking. Mr. Haynes did not vanish. He sat on the same benches. He fixed things in his hands. Sometimes he brought the boy a sandwich. He never clapped him on the back. He never called him a hero. He knew better. Real change is slow and private. It likes quiet places. One afternoon, the biggest boy walked by the school gates. He stopped. He looked smaller. He was not smaller in size. He just looked like a man who had used anger as a shield and felt it slipping. He met the boy's eyes. For a second, there was nothing. Then he murmured, almost as an apology, "Sorry." The word was thin. The boy nodded and kept walking. He did not need it to be enough. Years later, when someone asked the boy, now taller with a calmer voice, why he never fought back, he would tell them the same thing. He would tell them about a man and a rule. He would tell them about carrying regret. He would tell them about choosing what kind of person he wanted to be. People listened because the story was honest and small and true. If you want to be brave, you do not always raise your fist. Sometimes bravery is an even harder muscle. It is the muscle that lets you walk away while your chest wants to break. It is the muscle that lets you build a life without revenge stitched into the seams. The boy stopped being Egg. He kept the jacket. He kept the memory. He learned other names for himself. Reader, friend, steady. He learned to steady other people who trembled. He taught breathing to a small group of kids who needed it most. He taught them that anger could be useful if it pushed you to build, not to burn. One evening, sitting on a bench with Mr. Haynes, the boy, now a young man, asked the question he had always wanted to ask. "Were you ever proud of me?" he said. Mr. Haynes looked at him, and for a beat the old regret flickered across his face. "I was scared for you," he said. "I was scared I'd failed you, but you kept your hands clean for the right reasons. That is worth more than 100 quick wins." He reached out and squeezed the young man's shoulder. A small, steady squeeze. "You chose yourself. The lesson is not simple. You will get angry. You will want to hurt back. That is human. But you can learn to set the fire down. You can learn to build instead. You can choose a life that does not burn." If you have ever been called a name that made your stomach drop, know this: the name does not define you. The choice you make today does. Hold that quiet. Practice control. One day, the drum will slow. One day, you will walk past the cameras and feel your heart light. And someone else will see you and learn how to keep their hands clean too. If you liked this, tell me below. Tell me about a time you walked away. And if you want the next story, say Part 2, how he taught others. I'll tell you how the quiet spreads.